All right, folks, welcome to the first monthly unboxing on Retro Gaming Adventures with Master G. We are going to be unboxing a mystery box today from our VideoGamesMonthly.com subscription service. This is a service that sends retro video games directly to your door, which you can keep. You sign up for a subscription plan, you can get 3 games, 4 games, 5 games, or 10 games. You pick your system, and they include games from systems going all the way back to the 70s. You pick your systems, you pick how many games you want, and you maintain your library on their website in your account. So you can check off games that you already have. They won't send you games that you've marked in your library. For the purposes of this segment on Retro Gaming Adventures with Master G, we have subscribed to the 4UP monthly subscription box, and we have selected a number of retro gaming systems. I have chosen to receive Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, the Sega Genesis, Game Boy Color, Game Gear, Game Boy Advance, PlayStation, PlayStation 2, GameCube, Dreamcast, Xbox, the Atari 2600, the Super Famicom, the Sega Master System, the N64 Japan, and the Intellivision console. If you're counting at home, that looks like 19 different consoles selected. So even though we'll be getting 4 games in each of these monthly boxes, they could be 4 games from any one of those 19 consoles. It's anyone's guess what we're going to get today. Before we open the box and show you the first of our games received, I want to tell you how we are rating these boxes on this segment on Retro Gaming Adventures with Master G. I will not be rating the games that we receive. Everyone has different preferences. Everyone has different tastes in games. If you are a collector, you understand that. We understand that there's games we like to play, genres that we don't enjoy, and some games are just known to be turds. So we're not going to critique Video Games Monthly based on the quality of games that they send us, but we are going to review this box based on the variety. I have, after all, selected that they should send me 4 games in my subscription, and I've picked 19 different consoles. So I have given them a wide berth to send me any number of different types of games from different eras. I would expect to receive 4 different games from 4 different consoles that I've selected, as well as 4 different genres. I think as long as they send me 4 different styles of games, I'll give them the full points in my review. As long as they send me 4 games from 4 different consoles, I'll give them maximum points in my review. I'm not going to rate the quality of the games, but we do intend to do playthroughs of the games that we receive. As soon as I have time to sit down and play these games for you and stream it live, I will. I'll put them all together in a playlist, so after you watch this unboxing video, you can see the games in action for yourself. All right, folks, are you ready? The moment we've all been waiting for. Time to open the box and see what we've got. I'm not going to look. Okay, the first things first. The cards, the inserts, and all the other goodies. Oh, look at this. A 2UP. You might be asking yourself, what does that mean, Master G? Well, let me tell you about the 2UP. Congratulations. You have received 2 free games. Thank you for being a Video Games Monthly subscriber. Video Games Monthly, the monthly subscription service that delivers retro video games to gamers who own classic gaming systems. 2UP, you know what that means, folks. We have been randomly selected for an upgrade. Means our box costs the same, $39.99 for the 4UP, except this box contains 6 games, not 4 games. A very special bonus for our very first unboxing, a 6-game episode instead of a 4-game episode. Are you ready? They also send you a business card, a little index card explaining the service, and it looks like a little deal on some Nintendo Switch games for a little bit cheaper. Premium edition games, might be some some new releases from some indie developers. That's what we got. Enough of that. Let's get to the games. The first game we have. Feeling around. I'm feeling around. All right, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? The first game is, can you see that? Siphon Filter 2, a PlayStation 1 game. Siphon Filter 2, that is a third-person shooter developed by Eidetic, published by 989 Studios for the PlayStation, the original PS1. It is, of course, a sequel, Siphon Filter 2, the sequel to the original Siphon Filter, which was a smash hit. This game actually picks up exactly where the first game leaves off. Like, not even an hour after the first game ends is when this game starts. So the grand finale of the original Siphon Filter leads right into Siphon Filter 2, where many of the game's mechanics are pretty much the same. I think they changed a few things. I think they might have made it a little bit more complicated. I think this game is known for being a bit grindy. There's some puzzles to solve. It can be difficult at times. Let's read a little bit about what the internet has to say about this game. It looks like this game was generally reviewed very positively by the critics. Received an average score on game rankings, 81.47%, based on an aggregate of reviews. That's now Metacritic. But if you're a fan of the first one, you will absolutely love the second one. That's a no-brainer. It's got a two-player mode, and it's been compared to similar features in the original Medal of Honor game. Not everyone is a big fan of the sequel, Siphon Filter 2. Some folks on the internet think the mission design is a little bit uninspired, too much of the same from the first Siphon Filter game, and the story is super convoluted, as most of these spy sagas are. Super convoluted story kind of makes things a little bit difficult to get into. And I don't know anything about this game, so I'm looking forward to playing it one day. Siphon Filter 2, a game released in March of 2000 for the PlayStation 1, a third-person shooter. Let's have a look at the condition of the game we received. I will be scoring the box rate based on an aggregate rating of the condition of the games. That's one of the categories. So far, the case looks good, but it's missing the original CD art, or maybe there was an instruction manual with it. I have no idea. Let's have a look at the discs. Okay, disc 1 is in pretty good condition. I feel good about that. There's a 2-disc set here. Disc 2, oh, even better condition than the first disc. So I'm going to go ahead and rate the condition of this game as great. If you're wondering, I will rate all these games based on one of 4 conditions, either poor, fair, good, or great. And as long as the game gets a good or a great, it's getting the point. I'm only going to subtract a point from my overall review if I consider the game to be in poor or fair condition. We got to give them a wide berth. These are retro games. They're very old in some cases. This one's only 20 years old, but I'm sure we're going to get games that could be 30 or 40 years old. I want to keep track of the quality, the condition of the game, to give you, a collector, a sense of, whether or not you're going to receive games that are just totally roached, or whether or not you'll get games that are of collector quality. I certainly don't have any concerns with this one. I think it'll work just fine on my console. If you're wondering, I'm also going to score these games based on their value, because I'm sure that's something you at home want to know. If I'm paying $40 for a box, what is the actual value of all the games they're going to be sending me? So if you're wondering, we use pricecharting.com at the time we received the box. They compile aggregate values of games of just about every genre based on aggregate scores of internet sales like eBay, things like that. It's a pretty reliable source, and this game is said to be worth $4.92. So that's that. That's Siphon Filter 2. I hope you are excited about this game. I'm excited about this game. We're off to a good start. Let's go to the next one, shall we? All right, folks. Game number 2. Out of 6. What is it going to be? What is it going to be? Oh, looks like another disc. What do we have here? Shrek Treasure Hunt. All right, folks. Shrek Treasure Hunt. This is an interesting game, probably one that would be great if I had kids of my own. I'm gonna put this one not in the platforming genre category, but rather the children's category. This game actually came out in October of 2002, like way towards the end of the PlayStation 1's life cycle. Unfortunately, that means we just got sent two of our 19 chosen consoles. We got sent two games from the PlayStation 1. So I'm only going to give them 1 out of 2 points so far for console variety. I don't know, I don't want to review this game for you. It's obviously a children's game. It's very easy. I think it's been criticized because it came out so late in the PlayStation's life cycle. There's really no excuse for the poor mechanics and the poor graphics. But at the end of the day, this is a very easy game with a very limited scope, right? If you're wondering what the point of this game is, you are Shrek, and it is your job to collect all kinds of food items for a picnic with Fiona. So you pretty much run around levels and solve very simple puzzles, trying to avoid animals in the swamp and locate all the missing cheeses and the missing random things that Shrek wants to have at his picnic. And you just gotta find everything. There's no dying in this game. That's why I say I think this is a children's game. Best suited probably for kids under the age of 10 at least. It's very easy to pick up. You just run around looking for stuff. As an adult, I'm probably not going to get too much joy out of this, but I'm not going to critique the box because I did say send me anything from 19 different consoles. If I was a dad and I was a subscriber to this box, this is a great addition to the box. I'm hoping the rest of the games are going to be more fun for me. I'm hoping they only send me one kids game for the kiddos, but I don't have kids of my own, so I'm not terribly excited about this game. I am going to play it for you, but like I said, it's not challenging. It's very simple. It's cartoony. It's straightforward. It's Shrek. Obviously, this is a DreamWorks license. It's high quality. The game itself, though, it's for very small children to enjoy, and I think they'll have a blast playing it. All right, let's take a look at the condition. Ooh, we're definitely missing the original case. It's just the disc. Let's have a look. Front looks great. Yep, the back looks mint. It looks like this game has never been played before. Possibly someone who is too old for it bought this game at some point, realized that it's for ages 6 and lower, and never played it again after the first time. I would imagine this game's probably something a gamer could beat, in probably an hour or two, if even that. So we'll test it out at some point on the show. We'll put that video up in our unboxing playlist to go along with this month's box. And if you're wondering, the value of this game is even less than Siphon Filter 2. Pricecharting.com says this game goes for about $3 loose. So we got a $3 game and about a $5 game so far, if you're keeping track at home. We'll do a summary at the end of the show and let you know our final score for this month's box. Folks, game number 3 out of 6 on this month's unboxing video. Let's feel around in here. What have we got? What have we got? What the heck is this? Some sort of strange Japanese Game Boy game that appears to be about horse racing. I don't know anything about this game. I can't read Japanese. If you'll hold on 1 second, I'm going to consult the internet. And about 3 hours later, there's nothing on the internet about this game. VideoGamesMonthly.com makes you go into your account and select games from a list that you already have so they don't send you duplicates. This game is not even in the list. So this must be one of those 2-up bonus games. I don't know where they found a copy of this. It took me forever just to figure out the title of this game. I had to look at artwork of every Game Boy game ever released and try to find this neat little cartoon horse picture. But we were right. This is a horse racing, gambling / sports simulation game released only in Japan. The game is called Sanpon Yosu Umaban Club. I'm not Japanese. I don't know if I pronounced any of this right. It is a Japanese horse racing simulation video game developed and published by Heck for the Game Boy exclusively in Japan. It was actually released in 1992, so pretty early on, and never saw a release in another territory. I wonder why. The game allows players to place bets on horse races. I'm thoroughly intrigued by this game. I don't think in a million years I would ever come across a copy of this game, but maybe I'm wrong. The internet certainly has no idea what to make of this one. There's no aggregate pricing data on pricecharting.com. I have no clue what the value of this game is, but a quick eBay search and I found someone's trying to sell a copy of this very game in Canada for like $50. I don't know if it's actually worth $50. There is obviously no demand for this game, but its oddball nature, its rarity perhaps, its scarcity, it's impossible for me to tell you what this game is worth. So that's just going to be a big old question mark for value. Let's take a look at the quality though. The condition might be in pretty good shape. Actually, I mean, the cartridge is pretty clean. It's not dirty, it's not scuffed. It seems pretty solid. Everything looks good with it. So I'm going to give it a great score for condition. Value, no clue. We'll put it in the bucket of sports games / gambling because, as you can see, it's obviously a gambling game. You don't actually even race the horses. You just bet on them. So essentially, if I had to guess what this game actually is, it's just a random number generator. I wish I could read Japanese, and I wish that the names of the horses were at least funny or interesting or puns of some kind. I don't actually know what they are, but you essentially just place a bet, pick a horse, the random number generator rolls, it tells you if you won or didn't win. It looks like it has some complexity. I fired this one up on the computer to test it out and see if I could figure it out, but it looks like, there's all the sports betting, trifectas, your superfectas, you can make different bets perhaps, you can pick combinations of horses instead of just the winner. You can pick them to place or show. I'm just speculating because literally, do it at home. Look this game up on the internet and tell me what you can find out about it because I could not find a thing. This game is off everyone's radar. I don't think Game Boy collectors know what this game is. But you know what? If you're at home, if you're an avid Game Boy collector, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me all about this game. Everything you know that's worthy or interesting, because I could not find anything on the internet about it. I don't know what to make of this one. This one's an oddball. Let's move on to the next one. We'll see how it fits into the overall box. All right, folks, ready for game number 4. You remember, we got 6 in this box. We got an upgrade, courtesy of Video Games Monthly. Let's see. Looks like another Game Boy game. That means they only get 1 out of 2 points for console variety. I gave you 19 choices, and you only had to send me 4 games. You could have picked games from different consoles, but I got 2 Game Boy games here. Let's see what this one is. It's Sticky. Oh, Tetris, the classic. Tetris, the pack-in game for the original Game Boy. Man, I don't know. I mean, what can be said about Tetris? It's legendary. Alexei Pajitnov's masterpiece, super addicting game Nintendo bought the license for. It's probably the most popular game on Earth. I think I read somewhere it sold over 500 million copies on every console or computer system known to man. This is one that will get you tons of playability. It is super addicting. It is absolutely fantastic. One critique I have is that, this cartridge is kind of a mess. It looks like it's loose. It's very sticky. I'm not certain if it was clean. It definitely doesn't look like they tried to clean it. The label's a little roached. I mean, for lack of a broader base of games to compare to, because this is really our first box, compared to the other games we've received so far, I gotta give this one a poor rating. In fact, if I had a Game Boy system with me right now, I just based on the quality of this cartridge and just how roached the pins look, I would say 50-50 whether or not this one actually fires up. I don't know for sure if it's totally roached, and I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to give this one a poor rating for condition because it's nothing like the quality of the other games we've unboxed so far. All right. If you're wondering about the value of this game, this is a high value game. It was a pack-in game for the Game Boy, but it is sought after. People don't let go of their copies of Tetris, no matter what retro console they are on. So this game's probably between $9 or $10 on pricecharting.com. Go check it out. Not a game I'm unhappy to receive with my video games monthly box. However, that's 2 Game Boy games, that's 2 PlayStation 1 games. I would have liked to have seen a little more console variety. Now, if you're wondering about genre variety, I think we're 4 out of 4, right? We've seen the third-person shooter in Siphon Filter 2. We got a kids game in Shrek Treasure Hunt. We got a sports or gambling or simulation game in that weird horse racing game for the Game Boy. And now we got a puzzle game. So 4 different genres, only 2 different consoles. All right, folks, you ready? Game number 5. We got 6 to get through. Game number 5 is, it's got a case, a box, complete in box. Let's have a look. What? Intellivision, NFL Football by Mattel Electronics. Let's see what's included. Oh my gosh, it's almost complete in box. I got the original box, the cartridge here. The box is a little bit roached. It's kind of falling apart, but it is like 40 years old. So, I mean, we'll give them a little bit of pass on the box. It came with the original inserts. Look at that. All right, so for you folks who are too young to remember the Intellivision, if you're wondering what the heck these things are, these little inserts were oftentimes required to play the Intellivision. Now, you might be saying, these little pieces of plastic are strange looking. That's because the Intellivision controller was a bizarre controller. It was a keypad, almost like a phone. So it plugged into the console in the late 70s, early 80s, and on it you had the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you had 3 extra buttons at the bottom where you'd have something, a 0, and something else. On the controller, it's just a number, but every game had different functions programmed to each one of those buttons. In addition to that, there was like a pad, a dial, like a round knobby looking thing on the controller that you would use, as your D-pad, right? But if you didn't have these inserts and you didn't have an instruction manual, it would just be trial and error trying to figure out what each of the 12 buttons actually did in the game because they all had different things. So I have 2 inserts that came with this game for 1 and 2 player. This is actually a 2-player game, not designed to be played by 1 player versus the computer, but designed to be played by 2 players because the Intellivision came with 2 controllers hardwired right into the console. One of them did, at least. I'm not sure if all of them did. There were many iterations of the Intellivision by Mattel. But this game came out in '79, I believe. Interestingly enough, licensed by the NFL. Actually licensed by the National Football League. They got their logo all over it. Obviously, this was an era before they could put team names and graphics into the game. It's very Atari-esque. But it is NFL football, and it's probably one of the best of the era, if I'm being honest. I think the Intellivision NFL football game is probably the best there was until the next generation of consoles came out. And this came with a box that's kind of beat to hell. But it did come with the 2 inserts, which are in pretty good shape, so I know which plays are which. Now, it looks like buttons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are mapped to quote-unquote plays. However, I do not have the instruction manual, so I do not know what those 6 plays are. I'll have to learn from trial and error, pushing one, and see what all my players do, if it's a run play, a pass play, whatnot. But you can kick field goals. You don't have the safety in this game. That didn't come out until the 90s. The idea, the safeties in this game, the 2-point conversion was not a thing in this game because it wasn't a thing in the NFL Football League until the 90s. yeah, and then you move your player with your D-pad control, and yeah, pretty awesome game. So I don't know if I can call it complete in box. I'm going to call this one partial in box. And, you know, I'm not sure if I can give this a passing quality. I want to give it a good quality. I mean, the cartridge is in pretty good shape. I think I'm going to give it fair. It's exactly what you would expect from an Intellivision game that's 40 years old. So I'm glad to have it in my collection. I hope to God it still works. But yeah, I think we're going to give it a condition of fair for now. Maybe we'll adjust our ratings later if they keep sending me Intellivision games. If you're wondering how I came up with the value you see on the screen, over there, PriceCharting.com does track Intellivision games. It does track manual prices, complete and box prices. So what I did is I figured out what the value of the original manual was, and I subtracted that from the value of the complete and box price, because I think this one does have every single component relatively. I'm not sure if it came with inserts or registration cards, but I don't really care about that stuff. I'll call it partial, complete, and box because it's missing the manual. And that means the value is the $7 or $8 range. And, you know, I'm excited. I'm excited that they sent me like the box, the game, and the inserts. I definitely was expecting Intellivision games to come as just those 40-year-old cartridges. So I'm psyched about this. That's a pretty interesting find, although not terribly rare, not terribly valuable. But as far as Intellivision games go, I think this one's of high quality and very fun to play. So that's that. Guys, it's time for our final game. Our final game of this, the September Video Games Monthly 4-Up subscription box with a 2-Up bonus. Another box? There's another box. It's another Intellivision in box. This one is Las Vegas Poker and Blackjack. Look at that. Again, the original Intellivision box. Let's see what it's got in there. Oh my goodness, it's got it all. It's got the cartridge. Looks to be in pretty good shape. Not too dirty, not as sticky and gross as the Tetris cartridge was, even though it's 20 years older than that cartridge. Got the original instruction manual and the inserts too. 2 inserts, player 1, player 2, lists out what all the buttons do. This game lets you play a number of poker games and blackjack. So you can play 5-card stud, 7-card stud, 5-card draw, blackjack. You can go dealer's choice, and you can just repeat the same game over and over again. That's button 1 through 6. The other controls look like they're for the games. Hit, double down, stand. You can clear. You can call, raise, enter your bets. View cards with the control pad. And the entire original instruction manual for this game, and it is in fantastic shape. I mean, it's in what I would call as close to mint condition as you could ever hope for if you're an Intellivision collector trying to get a copy of every original manual that came with the game. It's got everything. It's still got all the warranties, everything in there. So I'm going to call this one complete in box. I think that's fantastic. One disappointing thing with the variety, you know, that's another Intellivision game. That means out of 19 consoles, they only sent us games from 3 different consoles out of 6 possibilities. I think I'm only going to be able to give them 3 out of 6 points for console variety. Bad scores. Yeah, I gave them a lot of options. I was hoping to see a lot of console variety, genre variety, in addition to scoring these boxes based on condition of the games received and the value of the games received. So, if you're wondering about this game, this was one of the original 4 games, I believe, that came out with one of the Intellivision consoles in around 78 or 79. So this would not be considered a rare game by any means. Virtually every Intellivision owner probably had a copy of this game. Definitely a game for the parents to play. It's all about gambling, playing cards against the computer. It looks quite fun. I mean, there's not too many gambling games, especially like in the NES, Super Nintendo. I can't remember any examples, at least, of like poker games. There's plenty of casino games that let you do like slots and roulette, things like that, play blackjack, but not actual poker. And this game has several different games. As you can see in my little video segment there, it's got the 5-card draw, the 5-card stud, the 7-card stud. That's interesting. Definitely something cool from back in the 70s. I'm happy they sent this game. I'm happy and it's in such good condition. But like I said, according to PriceCharting.com, even though this game is in great shape, and even though I would consider it complete in box, it's not especially valuable as Intellivision games go. I mean, on the whole, games of that era for this console aren't terribly valuable to collectors. So complete in box, its value is only about $5, a little bit less actually. So that's what the score is up there for value. All right. That's going to be it. That's all 6, guys. We got 6 games. We subscribed to the 4UP box expecting to get 4 games from any number of 19 different consoles, retro gaming goodies. We got a bonus upgrade, 2 extra games to bring our total to 6. So for the purposes of the summary and scoring today, we're going to do all the point totals out of 6. Get ready. I'll let you know how this box rated. Folks, let's wrap up the September unboxing with our final score, our final aggregate rating for this, the September subscription box from VideoGamesMonthly.com. All right, on Retro Gaming Adventures with Master G, here is our criteria. Henceforth, as we explore subscription boxes in the retro gaming category. Our criteria are this. We are going to rate the box that we received based on console variety. That means we give them the choice of sending us games from 19 different consoles. 4 games is all we're expecting based on our subscription plan. So in order to get 4 out of 4 points, you need to send me a game from 4 different consoles. Now, this was a special box this month because we got the 2UP bonus pack for a total of 6 games. So all scores of this, the September 2020 box, will be out of 6 points. That means if you are scoring at home and if you were paying attention through today's episode, the final score for console variety for this month's box is a 3 out of 6. A little bit disappointing. I'm thrilled we got the 2 bonus games. I'm happy with the games that they sent, but at the end of the day, you know, variety is important to me. It's a selling point on their website, and you know, with so many different consoles to choose from, for me, for us, for Retro Gaming Adventures with Master G, I would have hoped to find games in this box from 6 different consoles. I only found 3. We had the Intellivision, 2 games for the Intellivision. We had 2 games for the Game Boy. And we had 2 games for the PlayStation 1. The next category that we will be scoring each of our monthly subscription boxes in is genre variety. Another thing Video Games Monthly uses as a selling point is that they will always try to send you a variety of different types of games, and I love that. That's one of my favorite things about this subscription service. Let's take a look at how they did with this month's box as far as genre variety goes. They sent us a third-person shooter in Siphon Filter 2, a children's game in Shrek Treasure Hunt, a weird gambling/sports game in the horse racing game, a puzzle game in Tetris, a true sports game in NFL football on the Intellivision, and a true gambling game in Las Vegas Poker and Blackjack on the Intellivision. So that means they'll get a score of 5 out of 6. I don't know what to call the horse racing game, whether I put it in the gambling genre or whether I put it in the sports genre. Guess it depends on who you ask among the horse racing fans out there. But it won't matter because I already have a sports game in NFL football and a gambling game in Las Vegas Poker and Blackjack. So no matter what category you want to put that weird oddball horse racing game in, at the end of the day, 5 out of 6 for genre variety. So not too bad. All right, let's move on to the next category. This is our first subscription box that we featured on Retro Gaming Adventures with Master G, and the first that we featured from Video Games Monthly. I will give you a little inside info. I, myself, was a personal subscriber to this service a little over a year ago, and I loved it. And I remember they did send me great games in great condition. But I will admit, I don't really know where the bar should be set for game condition yet. I don't want to give them too much credit. If they send all of the games in mint condition, then obviously they start sending things that are a little bit roached. They'll be rated poorly. But if most of the games are average, then we can rate them highly. You know, it's a sliding scale. So give us a little bit of break for this, the first box. But if you were counting at home, I rated those 2 PlayStation games in great condition. I have no doubt that those discs will fire right up. They don't seem to be scratched or scuffed or damaged in any way. The fronts are great on all of them. I also gave that Oddball horse racing game a great condition rating as well. I think it's pretty much mint, probably because its owner had no idea what it was or how to play it and never did. The Tetris Game Boy game, however, I gotta give a poor rating to start. It might not actually be that poor relative to the next 12 months of subscription box, but relative to all the other games in this box, it's not in great condition. I think the main thing that threw me was how sticky it was. I'm not saying you gotta clean every game before you send it out, but you probably do try to clean the games. I've gotten most of the games I've gotten in the past from this subscription service personally do appear to have been cleaned. I think someone just missed that Tetris game. The label's real dirty, all the corners are peeling. It sounded like something was rattling around inside. The pins are just really worn out. And most notably, it was really sticky for some reason. So I can't help but give that a poor rating. It's definitely poor compared to the other 5 games they sent us this month. And that's what we're gonna leave it as for this episode. All right. Beyond that, we had those 2 Intellivision games, which I'm not going to lie to you. I have no idea what is considered a great or a good rating for a complete in-box Intellivision game. I'm probably being too harsh here. What they sent me are probably considered by collectors to be in great condition. I don't actually know. I don't know any Intellivision collectors. I haven't handled too many boxes. The cartridges were in pretty decent shape. The Poker and Blackjack had a great manual. The inserts were real dirty and kind of scuffed up, but that's to be expected since they've been used. The boxes, obviously not in fantastic shape, but they're 40 years old. The fact that they survive at all is a testament to the resilience of retro video game enthusiasts around the world. At the end of the day, I gave the Las Vegas Poker and Blackjack game a good rating. That means it scores a point. I gave the NFL football a fair rating, which means it will not score a point, bringing our total aggregate condition rating for this month's box to a 4 out of 6. That's right. Greats and goods get a point. Fairs and poors do not get a point. And that's how we do that. There's one more category left. Are you ready? Let's get to it. The 4th and final category we'll be using to rate our games received from VideoGamesMonthly.com is the value. That's the one that you all care about, right? You know the pricing tiers: $35 for 3 games, $40 for 4 games, $45 for 5 games, and $80 for 10 games. So we are subscribing to the 4UP service that promises to send 4 retro games each month for a price of $40 plus shipping and handling, taxes, and the like. We're not going to count the $8 shipping and handling charge. That is the cost of doing business. If you don't want to pay shipping and handling, then you need to go out and find the games at your local game store. If you buy things on the internet or subscribe to the service, you got to be okay with paying your shipping and handling. So we are not looking to include that in what the overall value of a box should be. We did pay $40 for this month's box. We were expecting to get 4 games. We got 6 games. Before we show you the total value of each of the games, according to PriceCharting.com, I'm going to give Video Games Monthly an overhead. For those of you who might be wondering at home, an overhead is the cost of doing business. They provide a service. They collect these games. They employ people. They order boxes. They manage social media accounts. They do work and they need to be paid for that work. So you should not expect to sign up for a subscription box service that costs you $40 a month and always get exactly $40 worth of games. Because if you did, the subscription service would not make any money and they would very quickly go out of business, and then nobody would get to subscribe to these fun boxes. The question is, what should their overhead be? I don't know what they charge. I don't know what they need to make in order to stay in business. I don't know what cut Video Games Monthly takes for themselves. I did not receive this box for free. I'm a paying customer like anyone else. They do not send me special things. They do not give me special treatment. I've not asked, and I never will. This is exactly what you at home could expect to receive if you signed up for this service. But that being said, I am going to, for the purposes of rating these box on Retro Gaming Adventures with Master G, I'm going to give them a 20% overhead. That means for a $40 box, I would expect to receive games totaling in value, according to PriceCharting.com, of $32. You guys at Video Games Monthly, you can keep that $8 to stay in business. You can keep my shipping and handling and my taxes as well. If I get games that total $32 in value, I will give full points because I think that's a fair and equitable box. I love these subscription services. I love being surprised. I love that another company is willing to take the time to maintain such an enormous stock of retro games, and I'm happy to pay a small overhead so you guys can stay in business. All right, $32, that's the mark. Here's how we're going to score it though. For any box that totals between $32 and $40, you will get the full amount of points on that box. So in this case, 6 games, 6 out of 6, if you can get us to $32. Now, if you send me a box and the total aggregate value of the games in that box is over $40, I'm actually going to give you a bonus point, like 7 out of 6 points. So you could actually score above 100% potentially. I don't think that's going to happen too often because, like I said, if they do that all the time, they would very quickly go out of business. That being said, for every dollar under $32, I'm subtracting a point. So on a normal box, on a normal 4UP monthly box where they only send me 4 games, if the value of those 4 games only equals, say, $30, I'm only going to give you 2 out of 4 points because I would expect the total value to equal 32. I am, after all, paying $40 for this box. So minus 1 point per dollar below 32. Have you been doing the math at home? Do you remember what the values were? Never fear, because I'm going to show you in just a second. We started off with Siphon Filter 2, a game valued by Price Charting loose as $4.92. Then we unboxed Shrek Treasure Hunt, another loose PlayStation 1 game valued on PriceCharting.com at exactly $3. We'll skip over that weird horse racing game and come back to it. The Tetris game, even though I would give it a poor condition rating, still according to PriceCharting.com valued at $9.49. The most valuable game in this month's subscription box. $9.49 according to PriceCharting.com. The Intellivision games, the Las Vegas Poker and Blackjack, complete in box with 2 controller inserts, the original instruction manual, the game, and the box, actually still only valued at $4.85, even with all that stuff. The NFL football game, partially complete in box. It didn't have the instruction manual, but it had the 2 inserts, it had the box, it had the game. Even without the instruction manual, still valued at $7.27. Now, I told you we were going to skip that horse racing game. We'll come back to it. Because the total of the other 5 is equal, by my count, to $29.53 out of the 32. Now, in a normal world, if we exclude the horse racing game, I would take off, I think I'd have, do we round up to 30 and we take 2 points off? We probably do. But at the end of the day, nobody in the world, nobody on the internet can tell me what the value of that horse racing Game Boy game is. There's no data on PriceCharting.com. I couldn't find any auctions that had actually ended where I could actually get the price someone paid for that game. I have no idea what it's worth. But at the end of the day, it really only needs to be worth $2.47. If somebody will pay me $2.47 for that game, then this box, the September 2020 Video Games Monthly box, was worth $32. I'm going to go out on a limb though and say it's probably worth more than $2. I don't think anybody's looking for this game, but I did tell you, I looked it up on eBay and somebody in Canada is trying to sell a copy for like 50 bucks. If it could actually sell for 50 bucks, I would say a million bonus points for this box. But I'm not really sure I can find a buyer for that game, at least not confidently enough to say what it's actually worth. All I can say is that it's probably worth at least $2.47. So I'm going to go ahead and say value, $32 out of $32 at least, which means a full 6 points out of 6. And that means the total aggregate score for this, the September 2020 Video Games Monthly unboxing on Retro Gaming Adventures with Master G is, drumroll please, 18 out of a total 24 points. Not a great box, not a terrible box either. Honestly, it's right around middle of the pack, a 75%. I'm going to give it a C rating. It's right about exactly what I would expect across the board. Got a little hurt in console variety. That ought to be easy enough to improve. Just send me more than 3 different consoles, right? 3 out of 6 in console variety, 5 out of 6 in genre variety. Unfortunately, we gave him a 4 out of 6 in condition because of the Tetris in the NFL football. That's probably on me for not knowing how to score the condition of an Intellivision game. Let me know in the comments section if I need to revise this rating. If you guys are Intellivision collectors, let me know what you think about the condition of those games. And a 6 out of 6 of value. I'm pleased with the value. Like I said, it met that $32 threshold that I'm looking for to get full points. But unfortunately, that means 18 out of 24, a 75% score, a C, right in the middle of the pack. Nothing too much to get excited about unless you're super pumped about Intellivision games. The PlayStation games I think are going to be fun. If I had a kid, I'd be psyched to give him the Shrek to play while I go play Siphon Filter 2. I'm going to have a lot more fun with that game than I am with Shrek, but that doesn't mean it's a bad box. If you don't want kids games in your box, you got to make sure you tell them that when you sign up for the service. I did not exclude any games. I picked every single possible available game across 19 different consoles and said, send me anything. I'm just looking for variety. I'm just looking for decent condition of the games themselves. Obviously, I want them to work, and I'm not even really sure that the Tetris actually will. And I'm looking for value. And I think I'm being generous enough with value. I'm not looking for $40 worth of games or more. I don't want Video Games Monthly to go out of business. I want to keep doing these videos for a long time. I'll give them a 20% overhead. I just want to see $32 worth of value in my box, and I'll be happy. And I think we met that. I think we met that with those crazy complete in-box Intellivision games that I did not ever expect to see in this box. I checked it because it's retro, but I was like, man, I don't know. And then right off the bat, they sent me 2 complete in-box Intellivision games. So kudos on that. That's going to wrap it up, folks. That's the September Video Games Monthly unboxing on Retro Gaming Adventures with Master G. If you like what we do, do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. We are going to be unboxing a new box from Video Games Monthly each and every month here on Retro Gaming Adventures with Master G. So you are not going to want to miss out. Come back, check them out, 1 per month. We'll stay on the 4-up for now, but we might change it up. We might switch it to a 5 or a 10-pack depending on how things go, just for a little variety. I will be scoring these boxes based on my own rating system the same way each time, so you can get a good sense for my opinions and make your own judgments about the value, the condition, the variety, and whether or not it's worth it for you. I will say this, if you're an avid collector, it's going to be difficult to buy into this service. You are essentially going to be paying retail prices. So, if it's important to you to find deals, you're going to have to scour your local game stores, your flea markets, and bid on eBay lots. That's the way to do it. For a service like this, you got to expect to pay retail prices for your games. And I have that expectation going in. If that's not your expectation, a subscription service that sends you retro video games is probably not for you. That being said, quality's good enough, I'm sure most of the games we'll play. Maybe not the Tetris. We'll fire that up later and see if it actually works. And another thing I want to mention is that it's my intent to play all these games for you on the channel. After all, this is Retro Gaming Adventures with Master G. The mystery unboxing is a brand new segment, but I'm going to play each one of these games live on the channel for you, our fans, to watch at home. So you can tell me all about these games. Tell me if they're any good. Check back often. I'll put them in playlists along with the unboxing video. So right after you're done with this video, you can just roll into me playing Siphon Filter 2, me playing Shrek Treasure Hunt, and me playing all of the other great games that Video Games Monthly is sending us as part of this subscription box service. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate the support. Drop us a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Tell us all about these games, all about the box. Give me your own ratings. Let me know how you score my September Video Games Monthly unboxing. I had a blast doing it, and I'm looking forward to many more to come in the future. So we'll see you all next month. Take care.